he's getting it now.
Hey everyone, welcome to Heavy Metal Customs. Please pardon the background noise. I got the old burner heater on. It's a little loud, but I'd rather be a little loud in here than be cold. That's a fact. What do we got for y'all today? Really cool cars rolled up here at the shop. And I want y'all to check this thing out. Then I'll tell you what we're going to do to it. It is a 1958 Chevrolet Biscayne Peggy Sue. That's what he calls her, so that's what we're going to call her. Let me grab the camera and walk around with this thing. This is a really cool car, and for the year it's in a very good condition. Alright, let's start up front here. Of course, I'm always a big fan of double headlight cars. I always think they look cool. And this one has the double lights under the headlights. Check out that massive grille. Can you say lots of chrome? Yeah, man. Now look how wide that fender is. A lot of class, a lot of style in these old cars, guys. Just let you soak this thing in. Big wraparound windshield. Yeah, lots of chrome. So as we're walking down this, pay close attention to it. This car is really straight. You can see the roof here too. And it looks good. I'm sure there's some body work in there somewhere. But I mean, just first general looking at it, yeah, she looks really nice. Got that wraparound rear window as well. You see how much that rear quarter extrudes out to make that sort of side fin look there, which is cool. Of course, dual on the tail lights too. Massive rear bumper. Yeah, this thing's just oozing with coolness. And let me get you a shot of the interior here. Not a ton of it is here. I'll say this is definitely a work in progress. But, I mean, the gauges are looking really good. Just got some aftermarkets down there. Got a B&M, I think it's called a hammer shifter. And we're going to change that out. Of course, she'll need a headliner and a complete interior package, which I think he said that he had. But I mean, check this thing out. Floorboards and all been done. We'll go underneath here in a few and I'll let you check that out. And this car is just cool, man. Vent windows. Crank style vent windows. Check that out. Yep, don't see that anymore. Super cool car. And let's open the hood and just see what's sneaking under there. That's on the hood latch. Well, it opens easy. Woo! Look at that. What we have here, people, is I'm going to call it a mild built 350. Matter of fact, a guy down the road over the machine shop, he built this motor. As you see, it's been converted over to power brakes. No power steering, don't need all that mess. Yeah, well, there's a nice 350 here. I think he said it had a 248 camshaft in it. Aluminum intake, full barrel. Of course, check out them big old headers. Yeah, you'll get a better look at them under the car. But, I mean, the car looks good. It's nice and clean under here. What issues are under here we're going to fix. We're going to have to do a little bit of engine work. Got an intake gasket leaking, and we need to put a thermostat in it because the thermostat gasket's leaking as well. recheck the timing and all that business. After we do that and get this carburetor adjusted out, get this thing running right, I have not heard it run yet. But she's a good looking car. So, probably asking, well, what's it doing in here and what are we going to do to it? Well, the issue is with this car, you can tell there's wires hanging all over the place. And they're messed up, they've been shorted out, they're not doing right or anything like that. So, first things first, we are going to rewire this entire car. The customer bought, I believe, every wiring harness for this car. Got everything in the trunk. Got all the wiring harnesses, factory style, not some of this cut, crimp, put this collector on, all that jazz. I think they're factory style harnesses with all the plugs and everything on. And he bought all new switches, dimmer switch, headlight switch, you know, turn signal indicator, all of that. He bought everything electrical to my knowledge. And that's the game plan right off the bat. Get this thing 100% electrically correct, then we'll move on to the engine. But this is going to be a job in itself, taking all this wiring out and replacing it and doing it right. I've already found some spots either where whoever worked on it previously didn't even pull the wires through the firewall correctly. Because I was asking the owner, which he doesn't know about these cars than I do, that little spot up there, the wiring went through, and he's like, well, that ain't even supposed to be there. He said, look down below at the square hole, and the wiring harness was plugged into that, and you go inside the car and plug into that. You know, at the firewall meet. That's pretty common. I mean, even on my 01 over there, you know, the harness from the dash clicks into the firewall, go out underneath, and plug it up. That's just the way it works. But what we're fixing to do here, first things first, I'm going to get make me a table out here. We're going to get all the electrical out of the trunk, all the switches and everything, lay everything out, see what we have, and get it in some kind of order before we tackle this project. But just stick with us. This is going to be a really, really cool project, and we'll just see how it goes. But I think it's going to go fantastic. I'm looking forward to doing it. Alright, let's check out all this underneath here. As you can see, this frame has been cleaned and coated. Yeah, it looks really, really nice. We've got the tubular A-arms on it. Yeah, good going on there, and the disc brakes. Ooh, look at that fancy automatic transmission pan. That's nice. Those killer headers that come out, well, they fit well, don't they? And I don't know who done the exhaust on this, but I gotta say they done a pretty good job. As y'all can see, some of y'all never heard of this. This is what they call an X-frame car. Yeah. You see the floorboards have been done. All of that's been coated really nice. We've still got the drum brakes in the rear. New fuel tank and all. Yeah, this car looks really nice underneath. Somebody does some pretty good work here. I'll check it closely. But from what I see so far, yeah, this thing's looking really, really good. Alright guys, I think the only thing I see missing right off the top of my head is a dimmer switch. The only reason I know that is he messaged me yesterday and said it just came in. But as you see, I mean, he done it right. Here's the engine harness with an HEI, automatic trans. And says modify for use of the HEI distributor. Then we have the front light harness. We have front light harness, front parking light bar wiring harness. Headlight connection harness. And here's the dash harness. Yeah, well, it's got everything in there, don't it? And we have the turn signal switch. Yep, we'll change out all of that. Wiper motor harness. This is for when he converts it to electric wiper, because it's vacuum right now. Here's the rear body harness. That's your tail lights and all that stuff back there. Clock harness. This thing does have a clock. And we have a, what's that, neutral safety switch? Yeah, or at least that's what it says on the box. An ignition switch, and a headlight switch, and a cigarette lighter. Now he brought bulbs, fuses, dielectric grease, cool little connectors here, solder stick connectors. Never used them, gonna have to check him out. He brought a set of grommets, and hopefully the light will be good enough. Y'all check that out, if the camera will focus. It is a blowed up wire and diagram 58. Bel Air, Biscayne, Delray, and Impala. Got your color keys here and everything here. Now it will be different than what this is saying, because this one shows a generator. So that'll be different. And it shows a coil and a regular distributor. That'll be different. But this is a very good guide that will get you where you need to be. And the thing about it, guys, I mean, you can see everything's plug and play. I see no reason why a man should have to cut and splice together any type of wiring unless there's just something special or something odd. But yeah, this should all be pretty much, I'll say, idiot proof. But yeah, we got everything laid out. Yeah, you like my little homemade table set up there? Yeah, that's how I roll. And of course in the box it's got all 4 headlights. So that once we get everything together, we can check, make sure everything works properly. But yeah, we got the stuff. That was the easy part. Now, what I need to do is go through here and strip everything electrical out of this car. This is going to be fun. I'm going to start under the car. There ain't been a little bit of electrical. We got the sending unit and the starter wire. I think it's all we have under here. And I've already found an issue. I don't know how well y'all can see this or not. But, of course, I popped the ground off the starter wire. I was going to take the positive off. Look. See that moving? Somebody over tightened that and busted that post right there. Yeah, that's not good at all. Probably have to end up taking that sending unit out and see if I can repair that post. But I'm going to try to get that off of there. I'll use a little pair of pliers to hold the post, try to coax that nut off, and get that wire out. Alright, we got the under hood wiring all disconnected. Had to pull the starter out, because just like, remember I showed you on the fuel tank where they over tightened it and done the stud, they done the same thing with the starter. And what else was it? Oh, and the alternator. So I didn't have to take the alternator off, but I got it. Here is some stuff here. We got this stuff here. We got this stuff here. And a pile of stuff laying over here. So the next thing for us to do, I believe, is go inside the car, take the dash apart. Now, one thing about this, that was sort of a, well, I won't say a pain, but it was a little bit of work. In order to get wire and harness that goes in here, yeah, there's a harness that sits in here that goes in them parking lights, right? Well, you cannot get your hand in there to undo them, or at least I couldn't. So I had to take the bumper off, the valance, and then the grill out, just get them connectors off. The bumper's a little bit heavy, but I'm glad I done it. That way I can get in there and get to everything. And when I put the wiring back in, I can do a really nice, neat install on it. So that's a big plus. Well, let's go to the interior, and we'll start taking it apart. And oh, I just want to say, guys, when you're putting stuff together, like a little fuel sending unit, you know, your nut on the starter, alternator, whatever, tighten it up to where it crushes the little lock washer. That's it. You know, it does not need 50 pounds of torque on that thing to where it breaks the stud. Them little studs are not that, you know, they ain't got much put into them, that's for sure. So it's easy to get them spinning. Once you get them spinning, it breaks contact on the inside of whatever device it's on, and it's ruined. That and one other thing I want to say. Let me show you this stuff here. Yeah, see this tar looking crap? Yeah, you may use it to install a modern windshield, but please don't use it on these cars. There's a thing called rubber grommets. See, there's a rubber grommet there, but still, I had to sit there and dig all that crap out of it. I'm going to have to do the same thing right down here. That's just time consuming, it's a mess, and it looks like crap. Okay, I'm through complaining, so let's get back to work and get all of our instruments and stuff out and see what we're getting into with all this dash wiring. Hey guys, let me show y'all on this headlight switch. Here's the other one that he bought for it. Now what you got to do first is get that out. In order to do that, there's a button under here. Reach under your dash, just push that button, and that comes right out. I know, outstanding, ain't it? Now, then you will need a flathead screwdriver that's really wide. A lot of people don't have one that wide. But let me show you another trick. Alright, y'all see where I'm at right there, right? Right here, see how that's slotted? There's a threaded piece that holds the light switch in. Grab you a penny. A penny will fit in there every time. And just use it as a screwdriver. This should not be so tight that you can't do it. Then once you get that screwed out all the way, then the light switch will fall out here somewhere, and you can get this metal plate here off, and then we'll take the speedometer out of it. But yeah, that's just a cool little trick. Thought I'd throw that one in there for you. Alright, we finally got that out. Buddy, that could have been a video in itself right there. That's a job. But we got her out of here and we're checking the harness. And yeah, I'm seeing a bunch of taped up stuff there, but I mean, why is that all goobered up? What flip is going on here? And then I was pulling some of these out of the way, and yeah. Now guys, I didn't take this tape off. This is like this. See that? Conglomeration of crap. Yeah. That's why we're replacing the whole harness. Lordy. This is turned out to be a little bit of a job, but it's not that bad. I have to say the worst part of it was getting that metal piece off here, because there's 4 nuts on the back side that I had to get my hands all crooked up in there and everything. And yeah, that wasn't no fun. No, it ain't terrible. Well, let me get this harness all undone and weirded out of here and get it removed. And then we'll run to the trunk. Cool. And voila, she is hollow and clean. Pulled all that through from the engine bay. We still have this here to go. That's the wiring that runs to the rear, I assume. But we will check that here shortly, longly, sometimely. Okay. Get all this out of here. I only have one screw holding, because you're supposed to take this fuse here out, and there's a screw hole there, and there wasn't even a screw holding the fuse box, just one. First thing I noticed when I dropped the fuse box was that there. There's a nice short going to happen. And all through this harness, there's just stuff, I mean, you know, cut, spliced together. You see the size of that wire, the size of that wire. So you know it's a splice cut. And just, don't even get me started. But it's a good thing he bought a new harness. Alright, I'm going to set this one to the side, and then we're going to check out the rear harness. Got that rear harness out of there. That blue is ground to the fuel pump. I rechecked the ground, but I mean, a ground wire is ground wire. I'll just leave it there as long as it's good wire and good connection. That one up there that you see goes to the dome light. I will recheck it, but we'll probably use them too. The rear wiring harness wasn't much. That there, remember that white plug was up front and all this went to the back. Had like a couple of zip ties on it, some of that black gummy stuff holding it. But yeah, man, there we go. Entire wiring harness out of the car. That's including having to take off the starter, deal with them bad bolts where somebody twisted the studs too tight, deal with all the crappy wiring that I had to untape and undo to get it there. Front bumper and grill section, I'd take it out. Hey, taking that speedometer out of there and all of that, that's a job. But I did get it. Say, I believe he got the, I thought he got a turn signal switch. If they say I got to take a steering wheel apart. That is neutral safety switch, it says. I'll have to ask him about that. Maybe the turn signal's good. Well, if not, then that's something that we don't have to do. But not too bad. Get it all stripped. A few wires left. That's on the aftermarket gauges down there. And all that is a ground, and then we got a height that will go to our voltmeter, and then a small wire that will go to the lights, to light up the gauges. That we'll have to wire in ourselves, which no big deal. But I'm calling this day a success. Yeah, you like my carburetor cover? That's some high-tech stuff. Don't laugh at that. Yeah. Hey, it works. Keeps trash out of the carb. You know, I had to get the breather out of the way so I could get in there and get all the wires hooked to the distributor. Yeah, but everything else is just lovely, I would assume. Now, time-wise on that, this is the way I do it, the way I run my shop. I have a notebook with everybody's vehicle, and I write on there when I start working on it, when I stop working on it. Like today, I didn't start on it until 10:30, and I worked at 12. Then it took me an hour lunch. Well, actually, I took 30 minutes worth of lunch, 30 minutes working on the orange Mustang, and then got back on this from 1 to 4. So I got all of this wiring harness and everything out of here, all the stuff I just mentioned, in 4.5 hours. I don't think that's too bad, especially for an old man like me. I don't move as fast as I used to, and I sure don't bend that great getting underneath that dash. But it does have a bench seat in it, so I can lay down and get all comfy, crook my arm up in there and get the stuff, so it wasn't like too terrible. But yeah, 4.5 hours to strip that out. I don't know how long it's going to take me to put the harness back in. That's going to be a different story, because when I install all the new harnesses, of course, I'm going to be particular, go through the correct holes in the firewall, and make sure my routing is correct. Whatever wires go down to the starter, and there were a crap load that went down to that hot wire on that starter. Now, I know y'all going to say, well, that's just the way a Chevrolet is. I know it is, but all the wires running down there to that big old starter with that big old header, that just spells future trouble. I am going to talk to the owner of the car. We may run them wires to the hot post if he wants to. I mean, they do have fusible links in them. Or we can do a like a little junction block there on the back of the firewall with just one main hot wire coming up in that starter height or something like that. But I don't really want to run them all down there to the starter by that header. I want to do better safe than sorry. So yeah, putting it back together is going to take longer than taking it apart. But at least we made good time, and we've done a good job and we're making good progress on it. So, it's the end of the day. What is today? I think today's Wednesday. Not sure. It's not Sunday because I'm not a Chinese eating, so it must be Wednesday. But I'm going to call it a day and be back out here bright and early in the morning, and we'll get back to her. Good morning, everyone. What's the day? Thursday, I think, or close to it. Anyway, back on the 58. Yeah, good looking ride. Here's what I'm up to this morning. All right, took everything out of the package. Y'all remember I was pulling that interior harness out. Of course, it was hooked to the engine harness, all cut and taped and everything. Guys, it's not rocket science, okay? This is the interior harness. You can tell because, well, we have a fuse box. And I will get 2 screws in this fuse box like it's supposed to be. But the only thing that I'm seeing goes outside is this. That one plug. Because there's the engine harness. And guess what? It's got a corresponding plug. Well, don't that just blow your mind? Yeah. Okay. Well, I hate to be a smartass, but you know, I mean, if it's as simple as something like this, that goes into there. That goes to the firewall, that goes outside the firewall. And so on and so forth. Oh, and there was a turn signal switch. I don't know how I overlooked that. The only thing I got to do on that doesn't have plastic connector. But luckily I got the old one to go by so I can wire it correctly. So when he turns his blinkers on, the headlights are not flashing or the horn's not beeping or something like that. But yeah, I think everything's going to be pretty good. My biggest issue right now is all that black tar gummy crap. And that hole that we pulled everything through down there, that is where this is supposed to come through. And actually I think that may have been a square instead of a hole and they drilled it out. But I mean, I'll make it work. But the first thing I'm going to do is grab my old crusty scraper here. I got to get all that black tar crap as much as I can out of these holes where they went through and get that cleaned up some. And as we're going together, guys, remember, use this dielectric grease. Now, if you don't have any, you know, get a jar of like Vaseline or off-brand Vaseline. Just anything like that to put on your connectors. It'll help weatherproof them, keep the moisture out, and make for a better connection. Same way with your grounds. Clean the spot where the ground goes. Make sure these little zip screws that zip in, they put a ground in, they may seem tight today, but next week, more than likely, they will come loose. Try to do a bolt and nut ground. And same way on them. Put a little bit of grease on the grounding point where your connector, let me find a ground connector so everybody knows I'm talking about something that should be something. Okay, this is not a ground, but anyway, this type of connector, you know, would go to a ground type lug. Nut and bolt, put your grease here, put your grease there, Vaseline, whatever you have, and then ground it. There again, no corrosion, no moisture get in, and that ground will last. Remember, nut and bolt, no zip screws. But yeah, everything seems to be pretty much the way it's supposed to be. I mean, like you look at the headlight harness. See these here? They're rubber with little grooves in them. So guess what? The car has nice corresponding holes. We don't need black goop around here because them will snap in and seal up just fine. Yeah, on both sides. Well, ain't that amazing? The harness actually fits the car. Yeah, like I say, sorry for being a smart aleck. Just, you know, it's pretty basic stuff, guys. This conglomeration in the floor may look intimidating, but really it's not. It is that simple. Put it where it's supposed to go. Everything will plug up. The wires are only so long. They're only going to go so far. Just like these, you know, when they come around, I assume all of these are going to the instrument cluster probably, because they're in this nice little section here off to the side. And then this has got to be something before the instrument cluster. Yep, that goes into the steering column. You see what I'm saying? Everything, if you put it in correctly, everything will fit correctly. So, okay, enough of me yapping. I'm going to get my old scraper and get scraping this stuff and get all that black tarry crap cleaned out of there the best I can. Alright, got all that goop off there, well, the best I could. That stuff is just a mess, man. Trying to get my flashlight on here where I can show y'all something. There we go, just got to hit it against your leg. I did make me a grommet for that, as you can see. Yeah, have to have a grommet in that. I mean, that's the main thing coming through. What I did, guys, there wasn't one in this box big enough for it. So I went out there to that white Mustang and I stole the grommet out of the floorboard under the back seat, where the back seat was. And with a little trimming, that worked out perfect. Alright, now I got to figure out how to mount the fuse box. They had it mounted wrong and it was sitting in there all crooked and catawalky. So I'm going to get that mounted in there correctly and get that plug in, and then we'll do our inside wiring. Alright, I got the, you can't see it too good, I don't know where my light went. But anyway, got the fuse box mounted in there good. That's all good. I went ahead and grabbed this rear wire and run it. I still have to find the connector for the dome light plug up there. And then this brown wire, I'll make a connector for it to go down to the sending unit. But here's something to run across. I was putting the tail light pieces in, the little sockets, as you can see. You see how that one's a single? Okay, I've already got the thing in here, but anyway, let me pop this one out. That's a double. Double and a single. And you'll know this because a double will not go in a single and click. This here, what, license plate light maybe? I'm not seeing one, but maybe that has a place for one. Yeah, there would have been one right here. Right, well, we got the wire for it, that's cool. Alright guys, we're still moving forward, making progress, as you could tell. What I done, I went through here and labeled a lot of these so I know where they go to and what they do. Like that's the high beam indicator right there. What was this one? Left blinker, and so on and so forth. I do have some wires that I grabbed another piece of harness. There was a harness that said under hood harness. It's somewhat under hood. It goes to the starter, and it also hooks up to the distributor, the HEI, and it comes in here and hooks to the ignition switch, as you can tell. I've got 3 of them hooked up. And that harness that I'm telling you about also goes to the neutral safety switch, which I have installed and hooked up. But I do still have some, who knows what that is? Who knows what that is? I got a blue one here. But the blue one seems to be this blue one, which is a ground to a bulb. So, yeah. There was another little connector that came with it that you got to, well, you can't really see it. But anyway, you take the pin, here we go. The top one here. You got to take the pin out of your big connector coming out of your fuse box. The brown one, pop it out, and it goes in here, and then that wire goes into there. And that's the one that goes over to the ignition right here. So look at your stuff real close, guys. Excuse me. Because, you know, the package says under hood or engine harness, but this is a half and half. It comes inside and goes outside. But I think we're okay on what we got going on in here right now. I've got that'll go to the clock. These right here go to the glove box for a little switch in the glove box of light. So I pretty much got everything going on. There's a couple of wires. We're just going to have to test them and see. And under hood, of course I still got to hook up, cram my main plug in there. But that one harness I was telling you about, like I say, it comes out, it goes to the distributor, it jumps over there. And this is the one that goes for the, where you put your battery on your starter. That one goes there. And I'm not sure which one of these is actually engages the starter. So what I'm going to do is keep everything nice and safe. I just pulled the hot wire up here. Yep, that's hot wire. And what we're going to do, we're going to bolt. Take this little nut and bolt, put both of these together. There's tape on it where it will not arc out against nothing. So when we test, if something is incorrect, then we won't have a starter sitting there trying to spin the motor over and break a starter flywheel or do something damaging. And then that way, we can test to see which one of these actually goes to solenoid. I'm going to say it's the little green one, but we'll check it. Got, of course, this main harness, like I said, I got to plug it up. We'll have to get a horn relay. That's what these go to. But I've got the headlights, got that wiring in there. Parking lights, it's parking. I have to pop a ground on here for the headlight wires. I'll do that in a few. And that wire comes all the way around here, goes into this headlight side, and then it goes down and up and around, plugs into the alternator, and then this is my alternator hot wire. So I'm going to go ahead and get that hooked up, get that big plug hooked up, and do some more digging and just see what I got. Being as the car is you know, more modernized, regular alternator, HEI distributor, things of that nature. The wiring harness is for that. This right here is some help, this big old chart. I've really looked at it and figured out a lot of things as well. And I got one more little harness here. That's for the electric wiper motor. I'll figure that thing out in time. Everything else is a lot more important than that. Some of y'all are probably saying, well, Paul, why didn't you just take a lot of pictures or draw out a diagram before you took the old harness? Lord, excuse me. Before you took the old harness out. Well, you got to think, why did we take the whole harness out? Because it was wrong. That's right. So I'm not going to go wire stuff back up the way that they had it wired up. I want to figure it out, and I'm treating this car like it came in here with nothing, and I'm starting from scratch. That way, if I have to research something, I can research it. If I got to hunt another diagram, I can hunt it. And the way I'm doing things, once we hook up the battery, I'll have my multimeter out, have my test light out, so on and so forth. We can start testing things and making sure that everything works properly and there is no shorts in the system. And that is, in my opinion, the only way to do it. Yeah, it would have been easier to just copy the other guy's work, but it wasn't right, so there again, we wouldn't have done a good job. But that's why I'm tackling it this way. Hate to sit there and keep explaining things, but, you know, this is electrical. This can make or break a vehicle. You do it wrong, this whole car burns to the ground. And I don't know about y'all, I can't afford to pay for this car. So I'm gonna take my time, do it right, and test. And if I don't know where something goes, I'm just not gonna plug it up. But once we hot everything up, we can go to checking some of them wires that are not going nowhere. Maybe they're not used in this model. But we can check them, just like that one in the trunk. I don't know if that's a ground. They had it going to a ground on the old harness. But it's a plug-in. If it was a ground, it seemed like it'd have a ground lug on it. I think it might be for the license plate light. So we're leaving that loose. When we throw a battery on it, we can run back over our little tester and check it, see if it's a ground or see if it is a height. Better safe than sorry. All right, enough yapping. I'm going to get back to hooking some stuff up and see how far I can get on this thing today. All right, guys, I think I got it ready so we can do some testing. The only thing that I'm really missing, I'm missing the dimmer switch, which will probably cause headlights not to come on. That's cool, but I'm missing the horn relay. Now, some of y'all, that doesn't sound like a big deal, but let me show you. See the diagram right there? That's right, there's a lead that comes straight from the battery to the horn relay. And then this other lead here that goes to that horn relay, which lights up everything inside. This is the main harness, goes to the fuse box. So what I've done for now, I just made me a little wire. It's coming from the battery over to this relay. Well, it would be a relay, but it's coming straight to this wire right here. So let's put our ground wire on. All right, we're grounded. Let's see what kind of stuff works. Bear with me, I'm going to be picking up the camera and moving around a whole lot. Alright, first things first, let's try some parking lights. Notice some of the dash lights work, but that's probably because they're not grounded good. Oh, they got a bulb in it. Huh. Not sure about them dash lights, but the parking lights are on, so yes, we have lights of parking. That is so cool. Check front. Car's not on fire. I don't smell no wires burning. Yes, we have lights of parking. And no, the insides are not hooked up. The harness only comes with 2 wires. One left, one right. My ask customer if he wants me to cut that other harness I took out and make them innards light up. If it's my car, I'd surely do it. Alright, we know we're not going to have no headlights. Because we don't have a dimmer switch. But can we get a blinker? Set the lights off. Ignition switch is on because the generator light is on. Yeah, y'all see that thing on. Now, blinker. Yeah, these are trying to come on, ain't they? This will be the left blinker. See if it's got a ground, it will come on. See the reflection up there. See the reflection back there. Yep, you can see flashing back there. I think it's flashing up front. You can't see the reflection. No flashing. We're flashing in the back. Maybe something wrong with that bulb up there, who knows? Let's see, which one of these is which? This is the right blinker. Alright. So we have some stuff working. That's got to just be a back connection up there, I would assume. Yeah, make sure everything's off. Oh, the blower motor. Yeah. Chances are electrical's working good. Yep, that's working properly. Wonder if we have any brake lights. This is the hard part, trying to do all this stuff by yourself. No brake lights. I don't see a reflection nowhere. Nope. Alright, we're going to check that brake light switch and them wires. But at least we do have it going our way. As far as the first test, that makes me happy. Nothing's got no shorts in it. No smoke, no fire. Nothing's getting hot. Yeah, and I did check earlier. This green wire is the one that operates the starter. Got to figure out what the purple goes to, not sure. I know there's two big purples to go to the safety neutral switch. Maybe the purple and the green's got to go together, but yeah, I sort of doubt it. That's probably some kind of extra BS. But yeah, we got her going on, so not too bad. Oh, I wanted to check that blue wire in the trunk, because if y'all remember, they had it as ground. But I thought it went to a license plate light. So I got the parking lights back on. Why? Because we're parking. Yeah, there you go. And here's that wire. I don't know why I called it blue wire. It's a black wire. Yeah, that they thought was a ground. Let's, what do you know? Yep. I thought I called that one right. Looks like they had it going to the ground. That was another dead short. Far out. Alright, at least now we know and where it goes. We won't make that same mistake. Alright guys, I think we're coming to about the end of our electrical at this point. Here's the deal. Until I get the intake done, blah blah blah, and get ready to fire this up, I still got to put the wires down there, put the starter on. But until I get everything, the vehicle actually running, and the gauges back in it, and all hooked up, I'm going to leave this wiring as is. That way, if there's something going on, not working correctly, I can get to everything. Once everything's 100%, then I'll do the tape up, wire loom, proper grommets in the firewall, and such as that. But what I have done here, I've gotten the I got these front lights wired up. As you know, just the outsides work from the factory, the insides do not. The way I've done it, it's exactly like the rear. In the rear of the car, you got the dual lights. The outside one is parking only, but the inside one on the rear is your brake and blinker. So on this one, I've done all four light up as parking, but I've done the inside one for the blinker, so it matches the rear. I've gotten the fuel level gauge hooked up, iffy on it. Won't know until I get the gauge cluster back. I did get the dimmer switch in for the headlights. Everything should be hooked up and done. The dome lights in. I do not have a bulb. That's a weird bulb that goes in that one. Like I say, this is hooked up. I actually put a real connector on here where it would connect into here. Same way but up front, guys. What little bit I had to do like that there and up front. I, done it like I was supposed to do it. I use the blue butt connectors on a lot of this stuff, get a real good crimp, and of course have me a piece of the heat shrink when I slide it over there and get that done. Of course, all that be taped up and put the plastic aluminum on it. Yeah, I bought this little package here, sort of pretty handy. It's a little heat shrink assortment, and I did buy some wire loom because I think we might end up needing some more. Yeah, I think it's coming along good. Only thing really left to do is run through here and do a test. Now, if you'll notice, if we're standing here, and I stand up here where I put my foot on the brake, yeah, I got me a mirror right here where I can see everything work. Hey, this is the kind of stuff you got to do when you're working by yourself. But let me throw this camera on my tripod and let's fire this electrical up and do a big test. Alright, we'll do the rear first, of course, because that's where the camera's sitting. Let me throw the ground cable on. We'll check the brake light, parking, and blinker in the rear. Alright, ground cable's on. So, alright, there we got some brake lights. Should have forward parking lights. Yeah, I gotta come back here and look too. Alright, let's see if the brake lights come on with the parking light. Oh yeah, everything's cool there. Well, let's see if we're blinking. Alright, blinker over there. Like I said, guys, if you notice, it's the inside that blinks. Let's check this one. And that was blinking. Checking the parking lights on. Alright, it's all doing what it's supposed to do, so let's go to the front. Alright, we're at the front. Looks like driver's side light. Of course, we had the blinker on. Let's check the passenger, make sure it's working. I like how I got these matched to the rear. I think that's cool. Oh, why is that one not blinking? Because I didn't have the lever pushed over all the way. There we go, yeah. That's all working good. Alright, now, let's check our headlights. That's all we're left. Alright, what we got there? Some low beams and some high beams. Tell me that doesn't just look quick. Funny how the front parking lights are not working when the headlights are on. Huh, that is strange. I wonder if that's that headlight switch. It's a used. No, blinker works. Some of y'all know, throw it down in the comments. Maybe when the headlights are on, the parking lights are not on these models. But the blinker works, so hey, that's cool. And there's that. Got the ground wire. Yeah, to tell you the truth, I can't remember. I remember back in the day, I had that 59 Dodge Coronet. And I want to say when the headlights were on, the front parking lights were not. Just the way the thing was designed, but I'm not sure. I will ask the owner when it comes down. But, I mean, it's a brand new harness. No, I got everything hooked up correctly because you've seen everything work correctly. Even the indicators for the dash in there, I had them grounded out a little bit. They were working. I noticed the high beam indicator came on and the blinkers were blinking like they were supposed to inside. But yeah, I think that's got our electrical wrapped up pretty good. This thing wasn't that bad to do all of that. But like I say, there's still a lot to do. Gonna put this car all back together and make sure this light's working, that light is working on the inside, and a bunch of particulars like that. I got that triple gauge set I gotta hook up and make sure I get interior light to it. We haven't tried the radio yet and the clock because we don't have them. Got to make sure they're getting proper electricity and working right. But what I'm doing is trying to stay busy with what parts I have and everything. So the next thing to do now is snatch that distributor out, valve covers, and get this intake off here and get it all cleaned up. I'll do an intake gasket on it. I believe he said, yeah, he said he had another set of valve covers and such as that. Oh, and a water pump. So I got to take the alternator and all that stuff off. But don't have to pull the radiator. There's a gob of room in there. Just the fan and the shroud and plenty of room to work. But I think that that's got this episode wrapped up as far as electrical goes. I know it's been a long video. Guys, that was a lot of work in order to do it right, research where everything goes, and make sure that we don't burn down the car. We take the time and do it the way we need to do it. But hopefully y'all enjoyed that video. I know I did. This 58 Biscayne is just a cool old car. You don't see a lot of them around. I am very happy to be able to work on it. Well, everyone, if you would, throw us down some comments. If you're able, hit us up on Patreon and or the Super Thanks. Very much appreciated. And please like, share, and subscribe. Again, appreciate it much. Till the next one, we hope that everyone has a fantastic day.